Hello, I've dyed my hair pink. Yay! Yeah, I will have a video dyeing my hair pink up shortly. But today I'm here to do a July reading wrap up and an unintentional July book haul as well. I think I'll start with the book haul because in terms of physical books for what I've actually finished reading, I only have 2 and I want it to feel a little bit more substantial. So I have some physical books to show, but I also have some Netgalley books to show because as you can see I haven't learnt my lesson from that massive Netgalley haul that I did, and I've requested more books. However, I have read one of those books which I'll get to later. Graphic novel though it still counts. I am still being a bit more active. But yes, I just want to mention quickly some of the reads that I have read, which actually happen to be the 2 physical books here. Was for Sci-Fi July that I was sort of briefly taking part in. I did read a lot of other different things as well, but I thought I'd just mention that. I read 6 books, which is amazing, yay. Double the amount that I've been reading for the last couple of months, technically, except for last month actually, because that was manga readathon and I read quite a few manga, as you would expect. Anyway, I'm dilly-dallying. Let's get on to all the stuff that I bought in terms of books or requested or whatnot. So 3 physical books. I went into Asda and I had, you know, just gone in to get a few things for work, like food, lunch work stuff, that makes sense. And of course I wandered down the book aisle. Mum was like, oh no Jen, I have a feeling you're going to buy something. Bought 3 things. So they always have like a 2 for 7 deal. The book's generally around £4, so you're getting that £1 discount. But I had to buy 3 because I saw another one that I really wanted. So for that deal I got these 2 books. So The House of Birds and Butterflies by Cressida McLaughlin. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that. This looks absolutely stunning. It's a gorgeous little book. Actually something that I wouldn't buy typically physical wise. I usually have quaint little reads like this requested via Netgalley, but this just looks so cute. I think what really pulled me was the colours. It looked really striking. The name was just like a little bit strange. I was like, okay, what? So I picked it up and this is what it says. And then this is when it really got me hooked because it's about wildlife basically. So Abbey Field loves every inch of Meadowsweet Nature Reserve on the idyllic Suffolk. Why can't I talk? I've just come back from work, so I'm a little bit tongue-tied. I've been talking so much and I think my mouth's just giving up on me. Anyway, let's start again. Abbey Field loves every inch of Meadowsweet Nature Reserve on the idyllic Suffolk coast where she lives and works, especially Swallowtail House, the rambling but empty house that seems to look out at her each time she passes its sharp windows. When a wildlife TV programme chooses a rival location for their new series, Meadowsweet is under threat unless Abbey can whip up a plan to keep the visitors flocking. She finds herself distracted by the arrival of brooding and annoyingly handsome new neighbour, bad boy novelist Jack Westcote. With the pressure on, Abbey and her cute rescue husky Raffle must pull something special out of the bag, but with Jack in need of a good friend and Abbey feeling the pull of attraction, she can sense her resolve fluttering away. I think this sounds like a lovely summer read as well. I probably won't end up taking this on holiday just because I've already got a few picks in terms of physical books, and this is a bigger one that I don't know, it's extra weight, isn't it really? But I might get to it during August time, hopefully. And then I also got James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl. I saw this edition and I'm sort of loosely collecting these newer illustrations by Quentin Blake. I've got a few that I got, I think around World Book Day last year maybe, but I haven't read them yet. They're just small little reads that I can pick up whenever. And this one has 3 fuzzy stickers inside and they are very fuzzy. They're awesome. I don't know if I'll ever actually use them because I never know what to use stickers on, but yeah. Bigger and bigger grew the peach, bigger and bigger and bigger. I've seen the film. I don't know if I've actually read the book of James and the Giant's Peach before, but there's that. And then something that I couldn't pass up. I've heard nothing but love for this book. I kind of wanted to wait until I saw the hardcover copy, but this was only £4, so I got Tommy Adeyemi's Children of Blood and Bone. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It looks like a great one. I've heard it's like an African equivalent of like The Last Airbender, and I love The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender as well. So I don't know, they've got a really unique magic system apparently that's really cool. This is just a beautiful, stunning cover as well. So it says, they killed my mother, they took our magic, they tried to bury us. So I've got like a loose understanding of what this story is about, but I'm kind of happy just knowing the basics. I want to go into it with not many assumptions. not many expectations, because I just want it to feel natural. And I think, fingers crossed, I don't want to jinx myself, but I think it's something that I could really, really love. And then randomly as well, I got one of my EMP catalogues. I think I get these like monthly or every so often, but it's got Luna Lovegood, and they've got a new collection featuring her fashion style apparently. So yeah, I'll flick through that at some point. So now for the Netgalley reads. I've got my tablet here, so don't mind me, I'm going to be a bit antisocial and just read off of it. So I should have probably done the synopsis. Some of the synopsises are lengthy on here, so what I'll do is I'll just give you the title and author name, and then I'll put the book like on the side so you guys can see, and if it looks appealing to you in terms of cover. I know it sounds bad because you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but I do sometimes, most of the time actually. If it looks appealing to you and the title seems interesting, then go and have a little look up and see when it's released and everything. So I requested quite a few actually this month, so let's start with the oldest of the requests. So that's Into the Jungle by Catherine Rundle, followed by A Keeper by Graham Norton. I mentioned that I had another one of his books from Netgalley in my Netgalley haul that I recently posted. Then there's What's Left Unsaid by Deborah Stone. Heracles, I think it's Heracles, yeah, Heracles is in like one of the Greek gods. Book 1, but I see it spelt so many different ways and it confuses me sometimes. Heracles Book 1 by Edward Core. That's a graphic novel, I think. A lot of the graphic novels I can't get on my Kindle, so I have to read them on my computer, which is annoying, but hey ho, sometimes the publishers just don't make it accessible for like mobile devices, which is understandable. And then there's The Music Box, script by Carbone and art by Howdee-haie. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Also a graphic novel. Most of these are graphic novels now, so I think the rest of them are actually. These are like the Read Now releases. Then we've got The Danes, script and art by Clark. Then we've got Revolutions, art and script by Matsuze Skitnik. Sorry. That's like, there's so many letters together that I wouldn't typically see in the English language, and it's like, how would I pronounce those together? Then there's Mia and Co, which actually looks more like a manga to me. Script by Vanyada and art by Nicholas Hitoride. Lightness, art and script by Catherine Marusi. Bearskin, script by Zadoro. Oh, he's or she is, I swear I've read that name somewhere. I thought I said that earlier. Anyway, and art by Oriole. I'm assuming these are just last names. Aquacorn Cove by Katie O'Neill, which I'm really excited about because I read the, I can't remember the full name, but it's like the Dragon's Tease Society, I think it's called, and that was so cute. I really liked that one. She does like, I think they were originally like webcomics or something like that. And then there's Prince of Mirrors by Alan Robert Clark, and The Miseducation of Cameron Post by Emily Danforth. So those are all the books that I either requested ebook wise or bought physically, or in terms of the EMP fashion magazine, got it sent because I buy from them like once and I bought a coat, but still. Now on to the books that I actually read and that I can review. Some of these I have especially like singled reviews for them coming up. I'm doing like some more book makeup inspired looks, but instead of just doing the looks, I have overlaid it with my reviews as I'm painting my face magically. So look out for those. I'll have to come back and link them to this video when they're eventually up, obviously for the equivalent books that I'm talking about. So the first two, or is it three? No, the first two things I can't actually talk about really because they're like in a series, but as you guys know, last month I took part in the manga readathon, which I'll link the vlog about it here. But basically I was focusing on the Black Cat manga series by Kentaro Yabuki, and so I just read up volume 9 and 10. I haven't read any more since though, but just so you know, volume 9 I gave a 4-star, volume 10 I gave a, I'm pretty sure it's a 4-star as well. a 4-star too. But in that manga readathon vlog, you can see my first impressions of the start of the series. Obviously I can't go into depth here now because I don't want to spoil anything for you. After that I read The Killing Files, which is book 2 in the Project Trilogy by Nikki Owen. I don't have that to hand actually as well because it's a library book, so as soon as I finished reading it I gave it straight back. Again, actually this is something I can't talk about too much because lo and behold it's a blooming sequel. Oh, I just knocked the camera, sorry. It's a sequel, so I can't really spoil it. Again, I did like a vlog wrap up for last month, so I'll link that here for you. It's got the first book that I read in the series, which is called The Spider in the Corner of the Room, so you can see kind of like the basis of that. But just briefly, we're following Dr. Maria Martinez. She has Asperger's, and it's interesting to see how she copes with her everyday life. Anyway, for situations that become apparent once you start reading, she's put in a really extremely uncomfortable situation. She's been sent to prison for the murder of a priest, and it's just about her kind of coming to terms with everything, figuring out mysteries. It's like a thriller crime, like, I don't know, there's so many interesting stuff going on there. But that's like the basics of the story. So obviously I just bit my cheek. The Killing Files, which is book 2, continues on from the story of book 1, as you can imagine. Just so you know, I gave The Killing Files a 4 stars. So there's a little bit of confusion I think floating about. The first book, The Spider in the Corner of the Room, is also called Subject 365 or 364, something like that. So they've got 2 different like working titles. I don't know if one of them's like an expired title or if you can just find them both ways. The book that I got was called The Spider in the Corner of the Room, but I think maybe it's most commonly known by the other name. I'm not too sure. Next up, for part of Sci-Fi July, I read Valis by Philip K. Dick. This is the first book I've actually read by this author in this amazing edition. This is the Science Fiction Masterworks edition. I want to get some more of these, and I think all of Philip K. Dick's creations, I believe, have been printed in these editions as well, so that'd be nice to collect. But basically, yeah, this is my first book that I read by this author. He has created the worlds of The Man in the High Castle, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, both of which have shows, I believe. Yeah, The Man in the High Castle, I love the TV series, and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, I swear there was a Channel 4 series, but I'm not sure if it went by that name, but I think it was inspired by. But yeah, so this one I gave a 5-star. I really did enjoy this one. I thought it was an amazing book. I didn't know what I was really expecting, and even when I was reading it, it was kind of trippy, but it was an amazing journey. I'm gonna leave that review here because this is one of the books that I did like a makeup look inspired by it, and on top of that video I'm doing like a voiceover of my review for it as well, like all my thoughts and that, so stay tuned for that video. Following that, sticking to the theme for Sci-Fi July, I read Red Rising by Pierce Brown. This got a lot of hubbub a couple of years ago when it first came out. I think originally it was a trilogy, and now it's like a continuation. I don't know if they're just like companion novels after the original trilogy, because I swear there's like 4 books, maybe 5 now. But yes, oh, I just realised, I'm sorry, I didn't give you a synopsis for Valis, and then I'll give you a synopsis for Red Rising. But yeah, the synopsis doesn't give you much. It's really confusing, and I don't know, maybe that's the best way to be. So it began with a blinding light, a divine revelation from mysterious intelligence that called itself Valis. Vast, active, living intelligence system, and with that the fabric of reality was torn apart and laid bare to so that anything seemed possible, but nothing seemed quite right. It was madness, pure and simple, but what if it were true? If that doesn't capture you, I don't know what will. So the synopsis for Red Rising goes a little something like this. Whoa. Not like that, I'm choking. I had a burp that was trying to come up, but at the same time I swallowed, and it's like, that was so uncomfortable. Oh my god. Right. The Earth is dying. Darrow is a red, a miner in the interior of Mars. His mission is to extract enough precious elements to one day tame the surface of the planet and allow humans to live on it. The Reds are humanity's last hope. Or so it appears, until the day Darrow discovers it's all a lie, that Mars has been habitable and inhabited for generations by a class of people calling themselves the Golds, a class of people who look down at Darrow and his fellows as slave labour, to be exploited and worked to death without a second thought, until the day Darrow I said that really weird. Until the day Darrow, with the help of a mysterious group of rebels, disguises himself as a gold and infiltrates their command school, intent on taking down his oppressors from the inside. I think I need a drink. But the command school is a battlefield, and Darrow isn't the only student with an agenda. Ooh. So I ended up giving that a 3-star. Again, this is one of the books that I have done a makeup look for, so please stay tuned for that, because I've got a review overlaying the makeup look too. But this was a weird one. It took me a while to get into it, and I didn't think I was liking it, but there were so many twists and turns in this. I ended up enjoying it more than I thought I would, just from like the first couple of chapters. But yeah, I'll go into more depth about that in that video, so just stay tuned for that if you are interested at all. And the last thing I read was what I requested from Netgalley, and that was Sheets by Brenna Thumler. So this one I ended up giving a 3 stars. Again, I got it as an e-copy early access for free in exchange for an honest review, so thank you to Netgalley. But of course, you know, all my opinions are my own. So yeah, I gave it a 3-star. This one is basically, we're following a young girl called Marjorie. She's got so much on her shoulders. I swear she's only like 13, 14, maybe a little bit older. She's a young kid. It's like a middle grade graphic novel, and she's basically going to school and struggling with family life, struggling with running a business, which is a laundrette that she's basically in charge of, having to do everything, displeasing customers. It's just so crazy for her. And then we're also following another narrative of a young ghost, and how they meet, and how their relationship grows from there. It's really, that's probably sounding really weird, but it's a really sweet story. It's so adorable. Yeah, I gave it 3 stars. And basically, I just thought it was really cute. It didn't have a heavy amount of substance to it, but there was a lot of talk concerning, you know, friendship, growing up, grief, which I thought was amazing. I do think that perhaps more talk about death in this way would have been more educational for children reading this, more, I don't know, teaching them something a little bit more, but it stuck more to the side of friendship and growing and that sort of coming to age sort of thing, which is understandable, but I think they could have done a little bit more with that. The colour scheme was absolutely beautiful. We sort of had a different colour scheme for like the human realm, and then we had another colour scheme for like the ghost towns, and also like when flashbacks or memories were happening, you could tell what was happening and when and where you were. It wasn't confusing. It also had like a nostalgic feel, because I think it was set in like late 90s, so they had the different kinds of clothing. You could just tell by the feel of it. It was just a nice read. I think it maybe took me an hour or less, but I kept going over things and just taking in, you know, when you read little lines of like a graphic novel, but then you go back, you stick to the page and you just look over everything, taking the art, taking the characters and how they're positioned and everything. It was just a lovely read. As usual, all my reviews, if you can't wait for the other books that I haven't really talked about, all my reviews, including this one, are already on Goodreads, so you're more than welcome to have a read if you would like to. But that concludes my video of my unintentional haul and my wrap up, including Sci-Fi July, Netgalley books, crime, thriller, lots of different things. So yeah, I'm really happy with my reading month for July. Let me know what you've been reading, perhaps what books you've been buying if you bought any as well, and I'll speak to you in another video soon. Bye.